that's for Clayton and I.
Okay, so somebody who's a tech or an administrator would have shared access to that. Now, so that folder would be on Jeff's account, and Jeff can share that folder with everybody. Any folder he wants, he can share with everybody, or he can only share a folder with specific people. So that's the other point, is that you can share folders with the whole company or just certain people in the company.
Yeah, so a third point there would be you can specify how to share your folders.
Well, that's right. You have control.
Yes.
So, like it says here, you can share a folder with limited access, with specific privileges you choose.
Okay.
Which
So
would
view only versus
Yeah.
change the.
Versus change. Yeah.
Well, that's right. Say you had just a staff that's at Fluffy and they just needed to see certain documents, but they don't need to edit them.
Right.
So then Jeff or whoever has share privileges can share it with a new member of Fluffy for read-only access.
Right.
And that's kind of handy too, to say, you can view only, and then there's also read write, so they can also read or write, or they can make folders. But another type of privilege is that you can allow somebody to also share that folder. So if Jeff,
That you've shared it with.
yeah, exactly, you can allow a person you've shared the folder with to also share it. For example, Jeff shared Secure Operating Manual with Clayton. Then Clayton, as an administrator, would have an option to add another administrator. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just sort of an overview.
So really, when you share a folder with someone, if you give them that, you have no idea who they're sharing it with. They could share it. Like if you give them.
Well,
that
that's right. That's why
privilege,
you've got to
they
be
could
cautious.
right, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it allows, SugarSync allows people in a group or company to share documents and folders that are important for everyone, and it's in real time, which means as long as they're on the internet, if Clayton adds a new PDF file or a presentation or whatever it is, then everybody who has shared access to that folder can see that right away. Mm-hmm. There might be a little delay if you have a slow internet connection, or if your computer's not on. If your computer's not on and it has been off for a while and you have a slow internet connection, you might want to wait 10 minutes before you think that you're going to see everything in that folder.
Right.
It's just better to either turn the computer on every day or have high-speed internet access at least. Yeah.
So there's, in terms of two main purposes, isn't there? So synchronize and backup personal folders is one purpose. Synchronize or view folders that were shared. That's another purpose.
Well, there's lots of other purposes. Yes.
Yeah. There's lots of other purposes.
So other purpose would be so that
Control
you can
how you share it.
Yeah, so that you have control over the folders themselves. Whereas if you didn't have a system like this, you would be something on a shared network, which got really complicated back before the days of cloud sharing.
Right.
And that meant that everybody had access and that you couldn't really control access. It was really convoluted and difficult. So that's a big important feature of the business SugarSync, is that you can allow people certain privileges.
Right.
Also, we can remotely wipe a person. So if suddenly there's an issue and somebody's laptop got stolen, or any other imaginary reason, an administrator like Clayton or Jeff would be able to remotely wipe that folder from that computer. So the next time they turn the computer on, it gets wiped.
So they would just take away
It just basically deletes it from that computer.
from that.
Hey Dan, can I make a comment about that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, the way I understand SugarSync is that, and one of the reasons we really liked it, is that when a folder gets shared with you, you can download it onto your laptop. So you're not just accessing it through the web, it's now living on your laptop.
Well,
it's updated.
that's really important. Now, exactly. So
you don't have to access the internet you can be offline, like away from a connection, you can still access those files. They're not going to be updated, but at least they'll.
Well, that's right. That's right. So there are two ways that you can have access when you install SugarSync on your computer. So notice that we installed SugarSync here on Jen's. Now you can see that there's folders here. Now, what do we have here? If we expand this, these are the folders that were shared with Jennifer from Jeff. Now notice, here's the folders, operating manual. Notice that there's a little person inside, it means that those are shared folders. If I expand this, we can see here it says the owner is Jeffrey. Now, that folder can be downloaded, or it can be synced to this computer. Now, that's what Jeff was talking about, is that not only can you see folders, but you can also synchronize them locally.
And then once you download it, the next time you turn your computer on, it would automatically sync the downloaded file.
Well, that's right. So this is the reason this is important, is to say the internet goes down, or if there's some other problem, you still see the most recent, since you last had the computer on, you'll see the most recent folder. It gets stored physically to that computer. If the internet goes down, you can still see at least the last time it's synced.
Okay.
So Jeff, yeah, it creates a local backup as well, if you choose that. That's an option.
So how do you choose that? Like on that folder, like say Hall Street office lease?
Well, we're going to get to that. But
Okay.
Jeff, you'll notice here that we're in Jen's account.
I just downloaded these files. I just literally, I didn't download them obviously because they're.
Now there's an
nothing
issue
here.
here. Now Jeff, when you shared these folders like operating manual,
Uh-huh.
I notice that I can't sync to this computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can only download, which is a one-time thing. Sync to this computer should be an option, but you didn't give those privileges, but you did give them to Clayton.
Okay, well, let me, you want me to reshare it with her with those? Or I can change the,
You can change the permissions for operating manual with the people that you've shared it, so that they are allowed to sync it to their computer.
okay. I'll
Because
do that.
yeah, okay, great.
And there's another issue when I was opening some of the files that you shared with me, Jeff. There was some of them were zipped. They were compressed. It was asking me to unzip them and became really complicated. So I'll get you to look at that today, Dan.
Okay, yes. The other thing is too, yeah, you can't really work with zipped archives. Because they won't be editable. Yeah, we're gonna have to avoid zipping or compressing or using anything that's zipped.
Otherwise,
Yeah. Otherwise, we can't work on that same document. Yeah, that's.
So Jeff must have stuff zipped on his
All right, they should
computer.
be able to be modified now.
So did that make sense? What we said? So yeah, there it is.
There.
Add to this computer. So that wasn't there before. Now Jeff just gave permissions for everybody to be able to add that folder to their computer.
But I thought you said you wanted to be able to sync it.
This is sync.
Oh, that is
Download
sync,
is
yeah.
not. Download is a one-time thing.
Downloading it to your computer.
Or add to this computer.
It's just syncing it. to
That
the computer.
implies that it means synchronizing locally to the computer,
Okay.
which means if
So
the
you're
internet
still
would go down,
viewing it on.
you're still viewing the most live. So we'll do
Okay.
this right now actually, so that
Okay.
everybody can see how this is
But
done.
is it putting onto the hard drive?
It's
on that
putting onto the
computer?
hard drive.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So
And
it's,
it'll show up on your desktop.
But then how? Is there a way just to view it? With
yeah,
the
there's a way to
folder?
view it. If I just double click on it, this is viewing it
Oh,
purely
okay.
through the cloud. Purely through the cloud.
Because would you really want to download all that onto your computer?
Well, it's not that much stuff.
Okay.
And if Jennifer, like right now we're on Jennifer's, so if we open FLFE on Corporation, she can open this, but she isn't going to be able to save it because it's all cloud. It's a cloud view because it hasn't been locally synchronized to the computer.
Okay.
So right now we need to synchronize operating manual to this computer. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and so that everybody sees how this is done. So how do I synchronize this so that it's on the computer? I just right click and then say add to this computer.
Okay.
Now these are the steps that we have to watch. So this is going to be a new folder on this computer. So I'm going to choose create. Now I have to put it in a folder somewhere on the hard drive. Now if
It can be on the desktop.
yeah, okay, that's great. Let's just simplify. That's a good one, Jeff. Let's just put it right on the desktop. And
But that's going to clutter up someone's desktop pretty
You
quickly.
just click OK.
With a whole
and
bunch of
that'll take
folders.
care of it.
well, instead of having a whole bunch of folders on the desktop, we're going to make a new folder, and we're going to call this FLFE sync or something like that. Does that make
Sugar
sense?
sync.
Sugar sync.
Okay.
FLFE sugar sync.
Just put sugar sync files maybe.
So we can put FLFE sugar sync files. So and if I choose that folder, now that's on the desktop, I can say select folder. And notice at the top right, it's showing that it's now synchronizing and downloading that secure operating manual. It shows that Jen has basically 2 terabytes of space available. Now I'm going to go to the desktop, and you can see here on the desktop, that's Jennifer's folder. It says FLFE SugarSync files. So that's the folder that will always be synchronized real time. It's going to be local and cloud. In other words, it will be on physically on the computer and on the cloud. Now, does that make sense? Everybody, any questions?
Okay, but this isn't always updated, or is it?
It's always updated if we're on the internet.
Okay,
It's updated. So now that this folder it's almost already synchronized. So if I look in here, look at all of that's already downloaded and synchronized
okay.
because we have fast internet here.
Okay, so if someone else made a change to a document on there,
Yes,
it would automatically sync into.
to everybody's account
And
and on the
into
cloud
this.
and onto this.
Oh, okay.
So maybe there's a file. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with just basic folder structures, but now that I'm in this folder called Operating Manual, maybe I want to click Date Modified and see what the most recent documents that were changed are. So you can see if I was to click here at the top. Now, is everybody familiar with what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
I can sort by name. That's very helpful because there's a lot of files and folders in this folder. So if I want to sort by name, it's alphabetical. If I want to sort by date, now I can see this is the one that somebody recently updated.
Why does the date say 2014?
It's probably still synchronizing then. Now, Jeff, what are the most recent files that we've updated here?
Just last night I updated one. It's in another folder there called FLFE Mobile Environment.
Yeah, so if I go here,
Yeah, because that one said March 4th.
now we can see here, this one was updated here just today. Or no, yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Because it says March 3rd at 10:49 a.m. So now, if I open this, it's okay if I open this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. FLFE Mobile is now available to everyone. So if somebody wanted to edit this document and they saved it, so if I made a change here to the end, now if you don't mind, I'm just going to write here test.
Okay.
Test. Now if I save this, save like this, and close Word, then that folder, if I open it here, that folder has now been updated at 12:02 p.m. and everybody can see that, and we'll see the word test at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on my laptop here now.
Okay, you see it already.
It says test on the bottom.
So that takes me to the next,
That's fast.
yeah, so that takes me to the next important thing. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, how come this microphone works so good on this TV? It's just like I'm talking to Jeff, right?
Well, that TV has a good speaker, and it's using the microphone on your laptop.
Okay. I'm just
Yeah, I'm not. The only person I'm going to go to here is Dan.
Okay, so you guys, so you can't hear
I mean, I
everybody
can
very
hear.
well?
I can hear Sherilyn. I can hear Sherilyn a little bit, but
I
I
would
think
just-
I'm not able to hear you.
I would just probably
Just
need
like-
to speak louder. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
now I can.
So what we've also done is we've upgraded the hard drives on the hard drive on the ThinkPad, on both the ThinkPads, so they're 500 gigs, so we can store more information. So I
Great.
have a home computer. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive in it, so I have a backup of everything as well. Jeff has another laptop. He backs up everything else. We got lots and lots of backups, and SugarSync will actually back up 5 versions. So if something happens, then we'll get into that. We're
Okay.
safe.
Great.
Okay, so that takes me to the next important thing, and that's, I put a little thing here called reminders. So if somebody's working on a document, so the most recent document was this mobile one. If I'm working on this and I forget to save it and exit, and somebody else opens it, then you'll have 2 versions. You'll have what's called a conflicted version.
Yeah, we had that problem.
Yeah, so you have to remember that it's just a limitation in the compatibility with Word and SugarSync. So if I'm working on this document and I go home and I leave it open, and somebody else goes and works on that document, then we'll have two versions, and that would be a nightmare if it was an Excel spreadsheet with all of the customer information. So then we have to make sure that we save and then exit when we're done.
So you could be working on a document and someone else can open it. They have no idea it's already opened by someone else.
They have no idea
No
that it's already
idea,
opened
yeah.
by somebody else, and
So
we're not
that's
at that
the
point
problem.
with SugarSync and Dropbox and all these other cloud haven't yet synchronized with Microsoft for them to communicate. Because if they communicated, there might be a SugarSync plugin at some point that will connect to Word saying that this document is being worked on,
Yeah,
but they haven't got there yet.
right.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
But
on Google Docs, you have several people editing at once. Can you do that on SugarSync?
not with SugarSync, unless there's a SugarSync online lets you do that. But yeah, with Google Docs, an unlimited number of people can be working on the document at the same time because it's purely cloud. It's not a program on your computer. It's all done through the web browser.
So if we wanted to work on a document that we weren't concerned about security for, we could all work on it on Google Docs and then copy and paste it and put it in SugarSync.
Yeah, if that's right. So what Clayton was saying is if we wanted to have the option for multiple people to work on the document at the same time, then it wouldn't be able to be a Word document at this point. It would have to be a Google document. So you'd have to have a Google account, which usually means you need a Gmail account, but you don't have to have a Gmail account to have a Google account. In other words, Jennifer at flfe.net you could use that as a Google account and then be able to work on Google Documents. But that's a whole nother
Right.
thing that we're not going to get into. Yeah. Now, another issue that we ran into was that on Jennifer's computer, SugarSync wasn't logging in on startup. So when you first turn your computer on, you want to make sure this checkbox here is checked where it says Start SugarSync when my computer starts. So how do we get to that?